Hello, hello, magical souls. Today we are talking about a very important subject, and that is the subject of bullying. But I'm not just talking about the subject in general. Um, I've been spending some time talking to the Akashic record keepers and guides about this subject because I find that a lot of people, a lot of customers or clients, what do you want to call them? People that come to me for an Akashic record reading have experienced bullying in their lifetime. And I just wanted to go through some ideas about, something that touches far more lives than we sometimes realize. And I want to begin by saying this. If you've ever been bullied, excluded, humiliated, manipulated, or made to feel that you weren't good enough, please know that what happened to you does not define your worth. Okay. I have experienced bullying myself, and it was incredibly unpleasant. And I am therefore talking about a subject that is true to my heart. And I've had to learn to do quite a few things to change how I see myself, how I see the world for the better. But I really wanted to bring through some very important messages from the Akashic Guides today. And they start by saying that they want you to understand that the words someone spoke to you were not the truth of who you are. They the way someone treated you was not a measure of your value. And the fact that someone tried to make you feel small does not mean that you are small. So instead, the guides want you to understand that bullying can leave energetic imprints that remain with us long after the experience itself has ended. And you may be an adult now, you may have built a life, you may have achieved things that you once possibly thought were never that you couldn't imagine possible. And yet somewhere inside of you, there can still be a younger version of yourself who remembers what it felt like to stand outside the group. Okay, to be laughed at, to feel different, to be told directly or indirectly that you weren't enough. And sometimes those experiences continue to show themselves in our adult lives. So perhaps you've become very guarded, or perhaps you find it difficult to trust people, and perhaps you don't speak up when something hurts you. So these are all, symptoms of what happens to us when we are bullied as children. And perhaps you automatically assume that people are judging you. And you might also find yourself desperately trying to please everyone. Or perhaps you even learned early in life that the safest thing to do was to make yourself small. Okay. And the Akashic records can sometimes show us that these patterns may have very deep roots. From a spiritual perspective, they can be past life patterns or soul experiences that are re-emerging in this lifetime because they are ready to be brought into awareness. And that doesn't mean that you deserved what happened to you in the past. And I really want you to hear that. Just because we sometimes choose life experiences doesn't mean we deserve them. Okay, there's a quite a big difference, and some people get a little bit muddled on that subject. It doesn't mean that bullying was something that you needed to suffer through because you were somehow responsible for it, but rather the Akashic Record Keepers and Guides say we choose to look at these experiences with compassion and ask, what is this showing me now? What am I ready to heal? What part of myself am I ready to reclaim? Where have I given my power away? And perhaps most importantly, am I ready to take it back? Am I ready to step back into the driving seat? Am I ready to take control of my life, heal my life, face these things head on? And we ask these questions because healing doesn't necessarily mean forgetting. And forgiveness doesn't necessarily mean saying that what happened was okay. You're not You don't forgive somebody because somebody tells you that you should. Sometimes forgiveness is simply releasing yourself from carrying the weight of what another person did. So think of it more like saying, I no longer want this experience to decide how I feel about myself. I no longer want their words living inside my head. I choose to give myself the love, protection, and acceptance that I needed then. And that can be a very powerful beginning on the road to healing everything. And if you were bullied as a child, I would invite you to imagine that younger version of yourself sitting beside you right now. And you just look at them and really see them. Perhaps they are frightened, perhaps they are angry, scared, perhaps they are confused. Perhaps they've stopped speaking because nobody listened. And instead of telling them to be stronger, instead of telling them to just get over it, just simply sit behind them and beside them and say, I see you. I believe you. You didn't deserve to be treated that way. You are safe with me now, and I will not abandon you. Okay. So there is something incredibly powerful about reclaiming your voice. If bullying taught you to stay quiet, perhaps healing involves speaking. If you were taught by your bullying experience to hide, perhaps healing involves allowing yourself to be seen. And if it taught you that you were not good enough, perhaps the healing that you need to undergo involves learning to recognize your own inherent worth. And you don't have to do this all in one go. The record keepers and guides say small steps count. Saying no counts. Speaking your truth counts. Setting a boundary counts. Walking away from someone who continually disrespects you counts. Choosing yourself counts. So this guided meditation is, sorry. I was just thinking we should do a guided meditation on this, but sorry, I just lost my train of thought. Okay, I'm back. So the guides also want to remind you that you don't have to become like a difficult, hard exterior person. You don't have to change your personality in order to protect yourself. You can have boundaries and still have a soft heart. You can be discerning without becoming fearful. And you can protect your energy without shutting yourself away from everyone. And you can learn to trust again without ignoring your intuition. So there is a very beautiful difference between being guarded and being grounded. So, for example, if we are being guarded, it says, everyone is going to hurt me. I don't trust anyone. But when you're grounded, choosing to be grounded says, what it says to the world is that I trust myself to recognize what is healthy for me personally. And that's a very different place to live. So if bullying is part of your story, perhaps today isn't about asking, why did this happen? Perhaps the more empowering question to ask is, who am I becoming now? And the child who was bullied doesn't have to remain the adult who feels powerless. In fact, this could be the perfect hurdle for you to overcome. And if we look at the teenager who was silenced, can now find their voice. The person who is made to feel different can discover that their difference may actually be one of their greatest gifts. And the person who learned to hide can slowly begin to step into the light. You are not the names you were called. You are not the rejection you experienced. You are not the opinions of other people who couldn't see your worth. You are so much more. And perhaps the greatest healing is not becoming the person you would have been if you had never been bullied. Perhaps it's becoming the person you were always meant to be, with greater compassion, greater wisdom, greater strength, greater awareness, because everything, because of everything you've traveled through. Okay. So if this message has touched something inside of you today, then be gentle with yourself. You don't have to clear everything in one day. You don't have to understand every past life connection. You don't have to have all the answers. Sometimes healing begins with simply saying, I'm ready to let go of what no longer belongs to me. And the guides are also coming through now, and they're just saying, if it's very difficult for you to move to nowhere, you move to a place where you know where you're meant to be. There's just a very small sentence to say all day, every day. And that sentence is, I am loved. I am loved. Okay, just say that. If a feeling starts creeping up inside of you about self-worth, about feeling bullied, about feeling less than you are, about feeling anything, just say, I am loved, over and over and over again, because that is true. I have opened the records of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people, and there's one thing in common every single one has, and that is that they are loved beyond measure. They are loved so much that I actually cannot hold the feeling of love inside my body, and it often the tears run down my face because I can't hold that love for that person inside my body. It's like my human body isn't capable of holding that much love. It's just too restricted. So that is a fact of life. You are loved beyond measure. Okay. So if you're going around your day and you know that you've got to step into your power and you've got to go and do all these things and it just feels overwhelming, just stop and just say, I am loved. I am loved. Love has such a high frequency, and it's a very exciting emotion and a very exciting word to channel or to say or to feel or to think of, because it's just so expansive. It feels bigger than this world. And it is. It's bigger than this world. It's bigger than our bodies. It's bigger than our universe. It's the biggest thing. It is God itself is love. God is love. Love is God. And it's a lot easier to walk around saying I am loved than I am God. That can feel very uncomfortable. You might be able to get to I am God at some point, but let's start where you are. Where you're at, I am loved. Okay, and I do feel a guided meditation coming in now. So let's close our eyes and count up to number 5 as we're breathing in. 5, and I exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's just bring in all your guides, all the ascended masters that you like to work with, anyone that gives you assistance on your physical journey here. They're most welcome into this conversation right now. Just feel the energy coming around you. Feel the strength of your guides arriving and holding space for you. Just feel that energy. And in this moment, allow your heart to open and expand as you fill your physical vessel with the light and love of God's energy. Let's feel the energy of your guides, your Akashic guides coming in, feeling your heart space with so much love, and you can actually feel it trickling down now into your other solar plexus, chakras, other chakras, all the way down to the root, all the way down to the 0 chakra beneath your feet. That feeling of love is just filling you up, helping you ground into Mother Earth. And let's allow the energy of love to move up into your upper chakras, your throat, third eye, crown chakra. Let's anchor it in on the soul star chakra, 0.5 meter above your head. Just allow that energy of love to flow from the Akashic guides into you so that you can feel healed now, so that you can feel loved. and so that you can start to find your way through this energy of what you might have experienced as a child, as a teenager, even as an adult. There's a lot of people that try and bully us into doing what they want us to do. And feel this love coming out of you now and setting up the necessary boundaries that you need to set up. Feel this love making its way into the different aspects of your day, into the different aspects of your life. Let it flow around the people that have brought you some difficulties. Just bring in this energetic, high frequency of love. Just let it seep into your day, your week, your month, your year, and just approach all new subjects from this place. No matter how people are treating you, make sure that you are filling yourself with love and higher vibration. Remember, you can also place an angled mirror, 45-degree angled mirror between yourself and that person so that the mirror side is facing any bullies, any people that are bullying you. Just place an angled mirror in your mind between you and that bully, and they won't be able to bully you anymore. That energy will hit the mirror and go straight down into Mother Earth for recycling, leaving you free from the feeling the energy of that bullying to your core, feeling you free from making sure you are free from overwhelm and that your nervous system doesn't um, feel overwhelmed. Okay, so we are then going to be able to hear what the bully is saying, see their actions, but we're not going to be fully entrenched in the results that they want to bring forward for you. Instead, you're going to detach from this bullying experience. And the reason why we detach and use this mirror is because we then are able to respond correctly for the highest good of all, for the highest good of ourselves, for the highest good of everyone and everything. And then we are able to see where we need to work on ourselves. And the bully, we can actually energetically, not to their face, thank the bully for bringing up to us this the idea that we need to do still work a little bit on ourselves. And we ask the angels and the archangels and the ascended masters to show us very gently which areas still need assistance and show us very gently how to take our very first tentative steps into our own personal healing so that we are no longer traumatized by any bullying at all. We have protection and we have the strength and knowledge and inner love and inner confidence to work through anything that comes up for us that needs to be healed. And we will just gently start to, on the next breath in, come back into the room, let go of that energy of the meditation. I just want to end this message today by saying to anyone who has ever felt like they didn't belong, I want you to remember this. This is a message from your Akashic Record Keepers and Guides. You are never too much. You are never not enough. You were simply being asked to find your way back to yourself. Okay, thank you, guys. Remember to find yourself back to yourself. You are everything you need to be. You have everything you need. And you are always very, very magical. So until next time, stay magical, and I will see you soon. Take care.